Hi everyone, it's Ludovica and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you even more pieces of advice and tips on how to survive your PhD. So this is how to survive your PhD part 2. If you haven't watched part 1, I'll make sure to link it down below in the description box and also put it up here so you can go and watch that and then come back here to watch part 2 of this video. Just as in the part 1, I'm going to touch on a number of important topics in today's video, such as mental health, work-life balance, the perfect work routine for your PhD, and so much more. So if you're doing your PhD or you're thinking about doing one, then this is the video for you. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so that you can be notified anytime I post a new video. Now, let's dive into today's topic. So, the first piece of advice that I have for today's video is to exercise patience. The PhD is a marathon, not a race. When I first started my PhD journey, I was working very long hours. I was extremely overworked, I was stressed, I was tired all the time, until one of my supervisors made me realize that the PhD is a marathon, not a race. You need to be patient. You're not gonna see results immediately. So you just need to make sure that you understand that by showing up, doing your work every single day, you are going to get results at some point. You're not going to see them immediately. They're going to manifest after a certain amount of months, sometimes even after a year when you do your PhD. So that's when your research project takes shape and when you're going to see exactly where you're going and the direction that your research is taking you to. So you need to be extremely patient. Results are going to come, but not immediately. So things will get done on time if you are organized, if you plan well, and if you have a little faith in yourself. It is important that you understand this from the start so that you don't make the same mistakes that I made at the very beginning of my journey, and you make sure that you don't work too much, but you work smart in a better way. And I talk about this in How to Survive Your PhD Part 1, so you can refer back to that if you haven't watched that video. So the second tip that I have for you today is to be your number one fan. Nobody is going to love you, motivate you, and believe in you the way that you do. It is important that you engage in positive self-talk and that you believe in yourself. Given the nature of the work and of research in general, it is pretty common to feel a little bit of imposter syndrome, to feel like you're not good enough, because during your PhD and your researcher career, you're going to receive a lot of negative feedback. Sometimes you go to conferences and people are very harsh and they criticize your paper a lot. Sometimes you submit a paper for publication and you receive very mean comments from reviewer number 2 most of the time. So you are constantly bombarded with negative feedback and negativity coming your way from every angle in academia. So it is important that you stay positive and that you believe in yourself, in the goals that you set for yourself and that you want to achieve, and in your research project. The main reason why you're doing a PhD is that you're extremely passionate about research and you love a topic so much that you decided to make that your career. You need to remember that throughout your day and throughout your journey at various points. Don't ever lose sight of that, because if you believe in yourself and your goals, you are going to reach them and you are going to get things done. One thing that I do to engage in positive self-talk and to make sure that I'm not being too harsh on myself and that I'm not criticizing myself too much is using positive affirmations. Positive affirmations are sentences, positive sentences, of course, that you can repeat to yourself internally during the day. So the positive energy from the positive affirmation that you repeat to yourself every day is going to manifest in your life, and you're going to see the benefits of engaging in positive self-talk. Some of my favorite affirmations are: change begins with me, I am worthy, I value my own beliefs and opinions, and I shift from competition to collaboration. These are the ones that have helped me the most in my career, and I repeat them to myself every single day. So I sit at my desk and I repeat my positive affirmations, or sometimes I meditate and use positive affirmations. Again, I'm going to share some resources about meditation, yoga, and positive affirmations in the description bar below, just in case you're interested. But this is the best way for me to engage in positive self-talk. Another piece of advice on how to survive your PhD is to be a good team player. This may seem a little bit odd or counterintuitive because in my previous video I said that the PhD is kind of like a solo work. You are the manager of your own research project, you work alone most of the times, and when you're not in meetings or when you're not engaging with your supervisors, you are pretty much working by yourself. However, in your career as a researcher, you also need to learn how to interact with others to counteract the loneliness of the writing process or the research process. So, for example, you sometimes go to conferences or attend weekly seminars in your department, you meet up with your friends and colleagues and you have a chat about, what's going on in your life, about your research and stuff like that. So you need to make sure that you're a good team player. Establish a good relationship with your supervisors, because that's going to come extremely in handy during your journey. Your supervisors are the people that you interact with the most during the 3 or 4 years of your PhD. So you need to make sure that you get along with them, that they are willing to help you, and most importantly, you need to collaborate with them. When they give you some feedback, when they give you some pieces of advice and talk to you, you need to listen to them, and you need to incorporate their advice into your research project and into your mindset as well, because your supervisors are not there to get you. When they give you negative feedback, it's not because they want to, it's not because they want to stall you or because they don't care about you. They give you feedback because they want you to do the best job that you can possibly do, and they want you to succeed in your research project. So make sure that you listen to them and that you redraft your chapter the way they are suggesting you to, and make sure that you incorporate your advice into your routine, because it is extremely important. They are there to help you succeed, not the other way around. So be a good team player. When they give you advice, just listen to them and be a nice, pleasant person to work with. As well as establishing a good relationship with your supervisors, make sure you also establish a good relationship with other people in your research group, if you're a part of a research group, and also your peers and other PhD students and postdocs and people in the department. So make sure that you participate in the life of the department and you are a pleasant person to be around and also to work with, because some people in academia can be extremely unkind because they engage in negative competitiveness and because they think that everybody is their enemy and that they need to eliminate them in order to succeed. This cannot be further from the truth. Academia needs to be a nice, kind environment that we enjoy working in, and where people lift each other up, give positive pieces of advice to one another, and learn from one another. So it shouldn't be negative competitiveness, but the other way around. So make sure that you're a good team player. Another important tip that I want to give you is to teach if you've given the opportunity to do so in your department. Seriously believe that teaching is life-changing. You learn a lot from your students and you will be stimulated in ways that you wouldn't even imagine before starting your teaching journey. Sure, it is terrifying at first because it is a lot of responsibilities. Students depend on you. If you say something wrong, they are going to learn something wrong from you. So it is pretty terrifying at first, but you will soon get the hang of it. In times where I was feeling down and unhappy about my project, my students lifted me up. Teaching is definitely one of the things that I like the most about my job, and I learned a lot through teaching, and I also become a better researcher through teaching, because sometimes students stimulate me with their ideas and I'm like, oh, okay, I never thought about that before. I have so much fun when I teach. Students give me very good feedback all the time, which counteracts the negative feedback that I receive from other sources sometimes. So It is so much fun and I highly recommend it because you learn a lot and it's seriously life-changing. It is true what they say. It's extremely rewarding and you're going to learn a lot from it. Finally, the last piece of advice that I have for you in today's video is to not be afraid to ask for help. As I said in How to Survive Your PhD Part 1, the PhD has a few highs and a lot of lows. So it is an extremely difficult line of work. Being a research, there are a lot of challenges and obstacles to overcome. It can be pretty daunting and overwhelming from time to time, and sometimes you just feel lost and you don't know what to do. You don't know how to proceed and what the best way to get out of a rut is. So don't be afraid to ask for help. You can ask for help to your supervisors, to the pastoral care at the university, mentors and people that you trust. So it doesn't matter who you ask. The most important thing is that you trust the person that you are interacting with. So your supervisor have a lot of expertise on the research area that you're working on life as a researcher, working in this line of work, working as an academic. So they have a lot of experience on this topic and they are going to be able to give you advice on it. And if you feel like you cannot overcome a certain obstacle, chances are your supervisors have advice on it. So make sure you ask them because you can learn a lot from them. And something that feels very daunting and insurmountable is actually kind of easy to get around and solve. So just make sure you ask people. And I'm also a big advocate for taking care of your mental health and therapy. If you feel like you need a professional kind of help, just don't hesitate to seek it and go to therapy. It is extremely important to take care of your mental health. So this goes ahead and concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please comment down below and let me know what kind of videos you want to see on my channel. If you want advice on a specific part of your PhD journey, please let me know. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified anytime I post a new video. Again, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video.